The ideas that we see as young people mold us as adults. Far too often in comics, we've just seen underrepresentation. And for a lot of young black people, for a lot of young Latino people, a lot of non-white groups in general, we just didn't see fair representation of ourselves in the comic book page. And you may say, well, why is that important? These are fictionalized characters. Well, the importance is, these things about these superheroes is, these are aspirations. This is perfection on page. When you see a superhero, he or she is basically that perfect being. They're good, they're strong, they have these abilities and so forth that dwarf anything that any of us could ever imagine.
This whole question of Afrofuturism, how do we as black people see ourselves in the future, and insisting that we see ourselves in the future in positions of power, in leadership, it just like that kind of optimism was here and just really flying in the face of all these myths that black people don't read, that black people don't read comics, that black people aren't interested in science fiction and fantasy, that black people don't write and produce and direct. You know, all these folks from Black Hollywood, both independent and studio-based, were here. You know, it just was this really incredible gathering.
Media has the power to change the world. People miss the education component with the cultural and fun component. Okay. And when those are mixed together, it comes out amazing. So just like AfroComicCon, bringing the educational component along with the cosplay, along with the comics, the drawings, that's what makes it inspiring for people.
When I first heard of the organizers putting it together, AfroComicCon together, I was excited of the idea, you know, but also like, you know, is it gonna work, right? Are people gonna show up? Are the organizers really gonna come through? And so the thing that I started to notice almost immediately over the past year has been like the updates have been like progress, and the actual result that I saw was fulfilled today, because it actually was exciting and it did feel new and fresh, and it did feel like people were getting value out of being here.
One of the things that was just incredibly welcoming when I walked in was a sign that said cosplay is not consent, that really talked about within this community creating a culture that said no to sexual harassment and sexual violence, and I loved that.
I think just the amazing level of creativity and talent that we have here. There are writers here, there are artists, there are craft makers. And seeing all the toads and all the, the Afro woman with the big afros is so inspiring. I love that. And I just walk, and I walk by and I always look at the tables, and and just smile, because it's so unique. Like, you don't see this often enough in society.
Oftentimes what will happen is, when you go see a film and someone tells you it's a historical drama, your antenna's up and you're in a serious state of mind, you're paying attention to what's going on, you're saying, well, that's not historically accurate, so on and so forth. But many times when you go see a cartoon, you go see a fantasy film, a science fiction film, you kind of relax because you're being told you're just going there to be entertained. And oftentimes, that's where most of the messages will come, when they're just telling you you're being entertained. Because you're assuming, oh, that's just a work of fiction. He's not from this planet, he's from someplace else. And it really opens up the door, it opens up the window where folks can start to feed you subliminal messages about yourself and how you represent it.
One of the reasons that, in my opinion, is that there's so much conflict is people don't know other people. They always look at them as outsiders, or I don't know you, you're strange, so your ways must be wrong. Through media, you can all connect, and then just find out we're all the same people, just different flavors.
Right.
But we all have the same aspirations, desires, struggles, things like that.
Think of balance, right? Like, as many stories are being told about an event from one perspective, we need to have our cultural perspective, our individual perspectives, the perspective of women and different communities. expressed when we're telling like either a story of history or a story of the future, because we all have a part to play in that.
So a lot of these guys that are here today, the independent artists and stuff like that, they see hope and prospects really being real for them at this point in time.
And they're grateful for the opportunity to be premiered or even as a vendor, as an artist, as a participant.
So that lets you know that this whole genre, this whole thing that's been kind of subdued and underground, is really a powerful medium in communities of color. It's something that really resonates with communities of color.
It is. People who are really hungry to see it. I mean, we could see here today, like people are here, there's a real hunger for it to be able to relate and own a part of this industry that is rapidly growing.
I can't wait. I feel really honored to have been at the very first AfroComicCon, and between Black Panther coming out and other things exploding as far as Black nerddom, I'm going to be proud to be able to tell my kids I was at the first one, and I can't wait to see what happens and just embracing and shaping this wonderful Black future.
Oh yeah, I want to be involved as much as I can, and I hope to, maybe be more involved and coordinate some things.
Fantastic.
Beyond just signing up and showing up.
And you're going to bring more friends with you next year. Yes. All right.
So all of this comes together. It's not just an entertainment piece. It's a social piece. It's an economic piece. And that's basically the message that I want to kind of deliver to you today. And it's the kind of mindset that I want you to leave here with. Like I said, hopefully by the time you're done, if you don't already have it, you have a greater appreciation of what these artists and creators are doing. Thank you very much.